My parents pressured my girlfriend to leave me for my wealthy cousin. My name is Lucas. I'm 28. If you told me 5 years ago that my parents would push my girlfriend toward my wealthy cousin, I'd have laughed. Back then, I still believed family meant loyalty. I thought they were proud of me. I was wrong. Emily and I had been together for 2 years. Me working at a small architecture firm, her teaching at a local school. We lived in a small, cozy apartment filled with laughter, not luxury. My parents, however, never hid their disappointment. My mom's questions were little knives. So, Lucas, any plans to move to a bigger firm? Or, Emily, teaching doesn't really elevate you. My dad would just nod along silently. Then came my cousin Ethan, the golden boy, a finance hotshot with a flashy car and smug charm. My mom adored him. Suddenly, Ethan appeared at every family gathering, always seated beside Emily. You know, Ethan could give you everything you've ever wanted. I overheard my mom whisper once. Emily laughed it off. Soon she grew distant, distracted. The breaking point came when she told me my parents had been honest with her, that I'd never give her the life she deserved. She didn't say Ethan's name, but I didn't need her to. I wanted to fight, but her decision was written all over her face. When she left, my parents didn't even bother hiding their satisfaction. After that, their cruelty became deliberate. Holidays became showcases of Ethan and Emily's perfect new life. At Christmas, I was shoved to the end of the table while they sat at the center, celebrated like royalty. My parents barely acknowledged me except to remind me of Ethan's success. On my birthday, they didn't even call. I later saw photos of them with Ethan and Emily at his lake house. The final blow, my mother calling to tell me, almost giddy, Ethan and Emily are engaged. Soon social media was flooded with photos of her glittering ring, my parents congratulating them like it was the fairy tale ending they had orchestrated. Weeks later, an invitation arrived for their engagement party at my parents' house. No note, no apology, just a cold, printed card. That night I drove by. Through the window I saw my parents toasting Ethan and Emily, smiling like they had erased me from the family portrait. That was the night something in me hardened. I stopped begging for their approval. I'd build my own life, far beyond their reach. I moved to a coastal city 3 hours away, started fresh at a mid-sized design firm, and quietly built a side business designing high-end interiors. One client turned into 5, then 10. Within 2 years, I quit my job and launched my own company. Soon, our designs were featured in magazines, and contracts rolled in worth more than I'd ever imagined. I bought a waterfront home, built a team, expanded overseas. The family that once dismissed me had no idea I was becoming someone they'd never recognize. Years later, an opportunity arrived. Coastal Heritage Gala, crown jewel of my hometown's social calendar. My company was invited, not just to participate, co-host and design the entire event. My name would be on the invitations, printed large enough that my parents couldn't miss it. The night of the gala, the ballroom glittered under chandeliers, every detail carrying my company's signature touch. When my parents and Ethan walked in, I saw their smiles falter at the banner, hosted by Marianne and Lucas. My mom stammered, "Lucas, you're hosting this." "Co-hosting," I corrected, moving past them effortlessly into conversations with CEOs and investors. For once, they were the outsiders. Later, I took the stage, speaking about building my business from nothing. Could feel their eyes burning into me as the audience applauded. And then, the final reveal. My wife, Isabella, joined me. Elegant, confident, successful in her own right. My parents' faces stiffened as I introduced her. My mother's eyes darted, searching for flaws. My father muttered something hollow about being impressed. Ethan finally said, resentfully, "We had no idea you were doing all this." I smiled. That's because I didn't need to tell you. For the rest of the evening, people gravitated toward Isabella and me. My parents, once desperate to be the center of attention, faded into the background. When they finally left, their postures were rigid, their smiles cracked. They had gambled on Ethan and Emily, and they had lost. As I stood at the window at the end of the night, Isabella's hand in mine, I realized the revenge was complete. I hadn't humiliated them. I'd simply built a life they could never take credit for, never control, and never surpass. For the first time, I felt free.